Here it is. Flight quarters, man. All flight quarters for each spot only.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is M. Modest of Hamo Productions. I just want to go ahead and give you another update on the review of that 172nd Nimitz flight deck. In a sense, I want to show you the enhancements I'm planning on doing. First off, as far as the stand, the acrylic stands, I think I found a way to actually make it fit. I'm going to show you that in just a few moments, but I also want to show you some of the enhancements that I also purchased, that I'm collecting, that I'm getting from other people. One of those people I want to mention right off the bat is Scott Page. Scott Page has been building this 172nd scratch build flight deck, which was really cool beans. I saw his video and I saw how he produced it. It was really fantastic. And I said, you know what? I wonder if I could get or purchase some of those accessories. So I'm going to show you that. So right off the bat, let's go and begin with looking at that flight deck and what I needed to do to make that stand actually fit, that acrylic stand, because it was a little tough. I was a little hesitant about how good of a fit it was, but it's a minor thing. It's not a major thing as I thought it would be. So what I did so far with the other flight decks, I'm going to show you with this last one, is basically removing it out of the case and actually putting it onto its foam backing here. And I'm flipping this guy over so that way I could get to the attachment points to where the stand is going to be located. Now, as I mentioned to you before, let me just find one of my stands here. These pieces are just a little bit too narrow. And even if I flipped it over to the other side, it's still a bit too narrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come by and not shave the acrylic part because I don't want to shatter that. But instead, I'm going to shave off just like you would trim a bit of a seam edge that you'll find in your plastic models. I'm just going to go ahead and just drill out just a little bit, very, very lightly, because I've done it already, on those 4 attachment points. So we're going to use this HARDELL drill piece. It comes in a nice carrying case with a bunch of little tools that come with it. I've had it for a while and I said, you know what, I think this is the perfect job for it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So right now I do want to point out that this HARDELL little Dremel tool has 4 speeds that you can control up here, which is really cool function. You can get it up to max, or you can step it down to a very low RPM. I'll try to look that information up on how fast this thing can go, but we're going to step this thing up to about a 3 and just slightly, very carefully, just drill out, shave off some of these holes. Now, once I finish doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is just to kindly clean those guys up. And I found out that if I just use a paper towel and a toothpick, a brush might be suitable as well, and just kind of like gently clean that stuff out. All that little residue that's on there. And let's see how well that worked. Okay, so that got that piece down. And I think I want to get both up. There we go. I kind of want to get both pieces in there together. And there it is. Nice, snug, delicate piece. And it goes in there quite nicely. So that's what I would do to actually make this thing work for you, to get that acrylic stand attached. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Kind of wish that little Dremel had a little stand. That's okay. test that out. And again, you want to go ahead and try to get both of those pegs in there at the same time. Okay, that one seems to be okay. This one's still a little tight. I'm going to go ahead and drill out just a tad bit more on that guy. See just a little bit of a divot there. Okay, let's see if that works. And there it is. Okay. So let's test it on the other stand, on the other side. Again, you're going to drop them both at the same time. It's a little stiff. Again, you don't want to force it because you don't want to break those pegs. That would be pretty dramatic. So it fits in there pretty well. It's a little snug, but I kind of like it that way. Okay, so let's go and assemble this guy. Next, we're going to get that base. And remember, when you're attaching that base, put in the stand that connects to the flight deck, put the major bases on next, and then you kind of have to like jimmy this guy around with those slots. I kind of push it forward, the male piece forward just a bit, and it's a little tight, but it does go in there okay. Not just okay, it does go in there. And same thing for the other one. Again, just pushing it forward. There you go. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do, we're just going to flip it around and show you how this thing looks. So now with the attachment of the stands and a little bit better fit, let's take a look on what we have. So right now, as you can see, it's much more aligned. Sure, there's a gap, there's a seam in between the sections that we have here, but I think some of it can actually be painted out to hide that seam, quote unquote hide that seam. It's just attaching these four large pieces together is going to be, well, another challenge for me to actually put it together. I think if anything, A1 that's here needs to be shaved down just a little bit more, just to get a little bit more flush on there. But everything else seems to fit okay. So what about these enhancements? Well, let me show you what those guys are going to be. All right, so as you can see, with some of the enhancements that came with this 172nd NIMITZ-class flight deck, I just want to show you, again, the life RAF canisters. I didn't pull them all out. There's several of them that I have. In fact, when I got my other flight deck, the Ford flight deck of Cat 1, I even got a few more of those guys. But also the AFFF barrels that you see here lined up around, which I didn't put all of those. I got 3 more that I can lay around. But also I want to show you that I have these guys. These are ResKit 1/72 scale figures, flight deck figures. that I purchased, and yes, they're from Ukraine, Slava Ukraina. And I want to just point out to you that I purchased these guys to man up that flight deck. So I need to get several of these on there. And as you can see, as I'm putting them around, I'm going to be flooding out this flight deck with various troops that you see here. And on top of that, I just want to show you one of them because one of them did kind of broke off, and I want to show that to you right now. So let me show that to you. So as I'm coming down from my stand, I'm going to go ahead and remove these boxes out of the way partially. And you can see one of them right over here. Hopefully you can see that guy right there. It looks really cool beans, very well detailed, very well manufactured. Sorry about that, I'm like right into the sun there. And it looks really cool beans. The only thing is though, is that it's really, really tiny. It's 1/72 scale. So I'm gonna be painting these figures out, putting a proper stand on those. So let's take a look at what one of the resin kits look like. I'm just gonna lower the stand a bit, get it down low. And just to show you, as I open the box, it does come with a nice set of instructions here. Paint jobs on what you need to do, color instructions, as you can see here, very well detailed. A set of decals, which is really neat. I hope you guys can see that. A set of decals to put on their helmets, to put on their uniforms and such. And of course, you know, being 3D printed, it comes in a nice plastic bag, a little baggie for you to keep them all in. And of course, very well detailed. This is the one where that one flight deck guy broke off, but everything else is just immaculate. As you can see there, very well protected, 3D printed. As you can see inside there, hopefully you can see all the 4 now that I have. So let me just go ahead and put this guy back inside there, just to let you know that, hey, I don't want to lose you. But that's what you get with that resin kit, and again, from Ukraine. But that's not the only thing I have as an enhancement. So the other thing as well, oh, my little man just fell down. I also have purchased a complete tractor. Oh, it looks really nice there. It looks really cool. No, I won't have this on there when it's doing its flight quarters and such, but probably like as a diorama with the aircraft parked on the side, maybe even having this thing over to one side as the aircraft are landing. But also this guy right here from Orange Hobby. These are hangar deck tractors, again in 1/72 scale. It is a kit. Just really quickly, I'll just show that to you. It's a plastic kit that you have to put together. It does come with a couple of frets, a photo etch, and a little bit of metal as well. But a really nice looking set from Orange Hobby. The tractor itself comes from TSM Models here. It's a diorama set. It's a bit expensive. Maybe I wouldn't go that far, but it does look pretty cool. It enhances the model pretty well. And of course, you know, the aircraft that come with this thing. So, but also on top of that, as I mentioned to you, I will be weathering the flight deck. And I got us these Oilbrushers set, a small set, not a major set, from Ammo MiG, Starship Filth, and Starbase Sludge. I'm going to be coloring up some of the deck to give it a little bit of a more of a weathered look, especially on the panels where the men and women, the air crews are walking around. The catapult itself, you know, rusting that thing out because it's not going to be pristine. And of course, some patches of different colored grays on that flight deck, as well as the JBDs. The JBDs are going to be worked on pretty big. I've been looking at a lot of different images, and that is something that really needs to be enhanced. The other thing I want to point out as well, even though the incredible detail of the rails is really cool beans, it's actually, I think it looks like it's more of a slated wall. And it's not just a thin wall, but it's a pretty thick wall as well. So I might be actually plating some of those rails that are along the side. I mean, the live raft canisters are doing that job already. So we'll see. But that's what is planned. This thing's going to look really cool beans once I get all the enhancements taken care of. And lastly, before I leave, just one thing. This box of aircraft accessories that I have here came from Scott Page. And as I'm opening this up and I'm showing you what he made for me in a sense of these 3D printed parts, it comes with these hose reels, okay, these control stations, some stowage boxes that you have laying around the flight deck. I just got myself quite a few of these. Wasn't too sure how well detailed the 3D print model was of the flight deck. Even some small little nozzles. Look at those little guys, okay? But just really quickly, as I was putting it together, something came up. And as you can see me getting ready to put one of these guys down, let me just shift over here just a bit. I think you can see it. I'm going to try to aim it for this AFFF station that's right by the bomb ramp here. This is his hose reel that he made himself, okay, that he actually produced for his scratch-built flight deck. And Scott, it's just a bit too big. So I'm going to ask for a redo on that guy there. Let's zoom in on that one. And it's just a little too big. As I was saying, it's great looking detail. It does have the attachment fittings that are on there for the hose reel itself, but it's just too big. And as you can see, I have one that's there, but I just felt like I need a fire station red reel, which they do have on our ships there. So I'm probably going to ask for a redo, just a smaller scale, maybe about a third smaller than what we have here. But I'll talk to you about that later. So that is what is planned for the 1/72nd scale NIMITZ-class flight deck display. It's not a kit anymore, it's gonna be a display. And I just wanna show you what I'm planning on doing to enhance it, to make it look a lot more realistic, a lot more better. I mean, it's a great kit. The pieces are very well manufactured. There are some things that need to be touched up on. I still need to fix that one border rail, that white rail that I showed you before. That still needs to be done. I still need to align that flight deck as best I can. And also, how am I going to attach all those pieces? Is there some way that I can attach them all? So those are a couple of things I need to contemplate and think about. Other than that, like I said, this is a short video of what the enhancements are going to be. Maybe a few other things I might point out to you. But I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to give you some more stills of what some of these things look like, and hope you enjoyed it. Otherwise, thank you very much for taking a look. Hope you review, comment, share, and subscribe, please. Subscribe. This is M. Modest for HARDELL Productions, wishing you a crazy March Madness. Yes, March Madness is coming up upon us. It's right here. It's Election Sunday. Take care. Have a good one.
Now go to your station, all the special C&I detail. Now here it is. Flight quarters, man, all flight